If I right now decided that I wanted to play Monopoly with you, and for 400 rounds of playing Monopoly, I didn't allow you to have any money, I didn't allow you to have anything on the board, I didn't allow for you to have anything. And then we played another 50 rounds of Monopoly, and everything that you gained and you earned while you were playing that round of Monopoly was taken from you. How can you win? How can you win?
Grand Risings, brothers and sisters. This is from the desk of the Emissary, Brother War Smith, coming at you live from the Black News Network, the real voice of Military City, USA, broadcasting the news from a Black perspective. I do not own the rights to the music, but I do own the rights to what I say. I want to say thank you for joining me with the Black News Network. Once again, we have some information for you. And every Wednesday at 6:25, we're going to broadcast this information, and we're going to do it again. We're going to do it for 30 minutes on Wednesday, and we're going to do it for 1 hour on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Now, 3:30 p.m. Sunday is a significant time for you to learn about our culture and about our history. That is the time where I do research and I put it together and I bring it to you, because these are the things that your children are not being taught in school. These are the things that the critical race theory is running rampant with, trying to keep you from learning who you are and where your ancestry come from. These things are the things that will make you a citizen, a real citizen, not a citizen with a granted privilege, but a citizen as a right. Now, if you go back and read some parts of the Constitution, which I'll go into detail some other time, and it'll tell you that our citizenship as Black, colored Negroes is a granted privilege. Now, anytime you receive a granted privilege, it's basically telling you that your privilege can be revoked at any time. In other words, you're probably familiar with a green card. If you go out and get a green card as a Mexican American or a Mexican citizen coming to America for whatever reason or another, and you get a green card, you can come from other countries too, Africa, Canada, wherever. You need a green card to work if you don't become a citizen, which you can't technically become a full-fledged citizen without due process. So due process is what you have to do as a Black American. It is not a right. It is a granted privilege. And I can say this over and over and over again, but until you get slapped in the face with it, you're not going to hear what I'm really telling you. It is a granted privilege, not a right. And I preach this every single week, and I will continue to, because it's something I want you to know. This week, our topic for discussion is concerning the things that you don't have, or the things that you can't get back, the things that are lost in life, the things that you have loved at one time and no longer have possession of, and no longer have the ability to get that possession of. Those are some things that we have to discuss and come to terms with as adults, because some things we just ain't gonna get back. And I want to start with the most significant thing to me that I lost, that I can never ever get back. And that is my mom, Helen Smith. There's a bond between a son and a mother, even a daughter and a mother, that once lost, you are not going to get it back. And that loss can come through many, many different forms. That loss, which I'm going to just talk about the most significant form, our parents get old. We get old. We get old, and our children watch us get old. And once we get to that golden age, it comes a point in time where you're going to stop breathing. And when you are gone, you are gone. Ain't no bringing back. So all those opportunities, or those opportunistic times that you have to spend with the people you love the most, you better take advantage of it. Because once it's lost, you will never get it back. Now, you can visit the cemetery all you want. You can act the damn fool at the church service. You can pray and plead and jump up and down and holler. But when God said it is time for you to come home, then your ass going home. I don't give a damn what you do. You get a new heart, a new transplant, it don't matter. That might make you live longer, or until your time comes. And if you do get that, it's because it's God's will. But the bottom line is, your days are numbered. You're not going to live 900 or 1,000 years. You're not going to live forever. So when you take that last breath, believe me, this is it. So once you lose that bond that you had with that person that you love so dear, then it is gone. It is no longer a reality. It is a figment of your imagination that you have to carry forth on. You've lost it. So how difficult it is for you to send flowers to a live person. How difficult it is for you to tell a live person that you care for them, that you love them, that you are so happy to be around them. I mean, I'm saying these things because I know that many of us take it for granted that we are not going to have to face death. We are not going to do it no time soon. People die all around us all the time. And sometimes those are people that we know. And then what's the first thing you hear? Man, I was just talking to so and so, and now he's gone, or now she's gone. But you probably could have been talking to so and so a lot more than you're doing, but you chose to ignore the fact that our days are limited here on this earth. We have to acknowledge the people we care about while they are living. Black people, for sure, the funeral is not that time to try and acknowledge that person while they are laying there in that coffin. It is time to do it before they get there. People gonna get old, people gonna die, but if you value people, certain people, any people, it is your responsibility to reach out to that person and say something before that day comes. And you don't know if it's going to be a traffic accident. You're going to know if it's going to be a heart issue or an issue that you just never thought. Even look at COVID. So many of us lost people during COVID. Over 15,000 people died right here in Texas that we know over COVID. It was more than that, but that's a reasonable number to know that that's a lot of people. So all I'm saying is take the time to say something to those people that you lost. You can never create a second first impression. How does that sound to you? You can never create a first impression again. Once that first impression has been created, it is done. Once that moment has passed, it is gone. Once you take that breath and exhale, it is done. You are not going to go back and get it. You have to realize as a American, I'm not only talking black right now, I'm talking people. I'm talking life. I'm talking individual. If you miss it, that first opportunity, you're not going to get that first opportunity again. It's over. So accept the fact that you have to take advantage when the time is right. When the time is right, you have to make your move. And that goes when it comes to relationships. That goes to if you see somebody you like. That goes if you have an opportunity to stop somebody from doing something dumb. Then you better take advantage of it if you got an opportunity to. You know, I've known kids that dealt with guns and mishandled guns and end up shooting themselves and dying behind a careless use of a firearm. I've known adults to fall asleep while driving and die behind the wheel. I've known people to take careless risk and mistakes and create mistakes that they shouldn't have done. But if that person standing next to them loved them enough, they would have made sure that they did not get into that situation. You know, for instance, DUIs. There's no way your buddy should allow you to get on that bike or to go into that car and drive down the highway when they know you've had too much to drink. And if it comes to that individual wanting to fight you because you are saying no, hell to the no, then let that individual want to fight you, but there should be enough support around you to stop that fight from happening. Drunk people think they can do it all. They think they can fight, they think they can drive, they think they can fly, they think they can do a whole lot of shit that they can't do. And they end up doing it and suffering the consequences behind it. Ain't no going back. Ain't no fixing that shit once you're in that shit. It is ongoing and it happens all the damn time to our people. These are things that we cannot get back. We can't get that second chance back. When we first grew up and flew the cuckoo's nest, or that's what we call it when we left home, we flying the coop, getting out there, looking at things, trying to do the best we can. Some of us say, well, man, I should have went to college right after high school. Some of us saying, man, I should have stayed in the military. I should have did 20-some years. But it wasn't for everybody. Sometimes you go in, you do your time, and you want to get the hell out and get as far away from the service as you can, because it ain't for everybody. Sometimes you wish you had stayed on a job and not cuss your boss out, but you did it because you had to at that particular moment. You can't live that moment over again. In other words, you might have walked out of your job on Friday and tried to show back up on Monday thinking you still got your job, and you get told, get the hell up out of here. So know that the things that you do, the people that you know, you only get one time. You only get one time to do what you're going to do with those people. Once that time is over, once that person passed away, that life is done forever. It is done forever. That time you had a chance to say stop, that chance you had a chance to say no, that time you had a chance to not go to an event, that chance you should have stayed on the main road, but you decided to take a shortcut and you had a wreck, or you tore up something, or you hurt someone. That time you could have stopped an officer from going above and beyond his call of duty. And speaking of that, what is his call of duty? What is the job of a police officer? I ask this question quite often, and what I find is that nobody knows what the job is. Everybody want to say to protect and serve, but that is not the police officer's job. That's what their motto is, or their logo on their cars, to protect and serve. But you think that's what they doing? To hell to the no. They're not. They're not protecting and serving. Why? racist. And that's basically what it boils down to, because anybody that don't see that you are a melanated person initially on your very first contact, and they don't want to recognize that you're a melanated person and that you have special needs and requirements, that person is a racist, because every single black person has a need for special consideration somewhere. Now, I ain't asking for no damn handout. I'm letting you know that you have damaged our people. Our people are damaged. From the time we walked out of slavery, the law ain't been for us. They would arrest you and put you in jail, go gather up their Klansmen, and then they let you out so the Klansmen can run you down and hang your ass. Thousands of people have died at the hands of our so-called oppressors. Now, when they had an opportunity to make it right for us, what the hell did they do? They created the Klan. They didn't make it right for us. So don't think that everything is honky-damn-dory, because it's not. Black people are viewed as less than in America. And in order to change that, we have to learn our history. We have to learn our history. And if we never learn our history, we will never, ever get what's due to us as a people. You have to recognize that you're a people first and become part of that people, and then your rights have to be honored, not granted, because right now you got a granted privilege, and we don't want to go that far yet. But these are the 10 things that the Black Panther Party outlined with narratives saying that we should have here in America as black people. Number 1, we should have the power to control our own destiny. Now, what does that mean? That means we were screwed out of the power to control our own destiny through immigration. When they started taking us out of our own neighborhoods and spreading us out like salt on a damn blackboard, we ended up losing our destiny. We don't know where the hell our kids going to school. We can't go into our kids' school because once we go over there with our culture, they want to say we ghetto or we hood or we don't belong. But our kids are now being bused to your school, and they damn sure ain't getting no better education because they're getting arrested in these upscale schools that they've taken you out of your neighborhood and put you in. And now you got to deal with the police called security resource officers. And these security resource officers ain't no different than the very same damn police out on the street beating black folks' ass. They're the same. So how can we control our own destiny when you don't give us our own communities and you don't allow us to stay in our own communities? We build a community up. The first thing you want to do to tear it down is either burn it down like you did in Tulsa, build a damn highway through it like you did in New Orleans, and split it up. That's what you want to do. You have to destroy the black culture by destroying the black community. You can't have your own destiny if you don't have your footprint somewhere. If you're moving all the time, if you're changing schools for your kids all the time, you're not allowing your kids to develop long-term relationships. And that's something that I fought the military for, because the military move people every 3 years. You set somewhere for 3 years, and then you end up going to the next location, and you end up having to start all over again, which doesn't make no damn sense. But that's what we do, and that's what your Uncle Sam does. So the power to control our own destiny is where we need to begin, according to the Black Panther Party. Number 2, we should have the full ability to own our own business and to gain gainful employment. We gotta go and rent a place because we can't afford to buy it. Why can't we find that place, and our entire business proposal is wrapped up in owning that particular spot? We have to depend on insurance money. We have to depend on bonuses. We have to depend on extensive savings and family members and everybody else putting their money in so we can buy this building. But ain't nobody gonna do it. So we end up renting, and then when we're renting, we end up knowing that this is temporary. It's a temporary business, because we are not gonna stay in this facility. We gotta go, because we don't own shit. We should be able to own our own businesses, and we should have every damn business there is. We should have, we finally got a Starbucks on the east side of San Antonio. We should have all kind of restaurants, an Olive Garden on the east side. We should have an Applebee's on the east side. We should have all these different restaurants should be built right there on Houston Street and New Braunfels and on W.W. White. Now, one thing I'd say about W.W. White, it is, to me, it's becoming the mecca, the hub of Black San Antonio, because that is where it should be. It is a lot going on W.W. White, but be aware that that area is not going to stay black for long, because people see that it's a highly concentrated and developing area, and so everybody trying to go over there and buy property. That was number 2. Number 1, power to control our own destiny. Number 2, full ability to own businesses and gain employment. Number 3, remove, these are the Black Panther top 10 lists. Number 3, remove foreign businesses from our inner city neighborhoods. There should not be, every damn quick stop shouldn't be owned by the Indians. Every hotel shouldn't be owned by the Arabs. There should be some black-owned hotels and some black-owned corner stores on the east side of San Antonio. There should be some black franchises on the east side of San Antonio. The only black-owned franchise that I know of is Miss Shields and the 2 McDonald's on the east side. A black lady owning both of those. But what about the rest of the money that goes into Little Caesars, that goes into 101 Mexican restaurants? What about the rest of the money? We should be able to control our own businesses and our own communities and decide who stays and who goes. But no, we leave that responsibility with the city of San Antonio. We should have the right to fair housing. You shouldn't have to give up your left nut to get the decent housing. You should be able to raise your family in a house that eventually becomes yours. And one thing about that, we've had the houses, but we've also given them up because we're not so used to seeing large sums of money. And when the white man come over there and dangle that big bundle of dough in front of us, we give it up. Like that parking lot just across the street from where the motorcycle club used to be. The church sold that parking lot for approximately $50,000. That man done put 2 buildings up on that lot over there, and now it's worth every bit of $600,000 or $700,000. So he took a $50,000 investment that nobody really knew about it, a white man, and built those 2 properties, bought it from the church. We should have the right to fair housing, but they've taken us out of the east side house by house, $30,000 or a $250,000 house. The only reason you sold it for 30 is because it was paid for by your ancestors. And if you're not honoring your ancestors, your days are numbered. Your days are shorter numbered. We should have a time or true education of our history. Right now, we're not getting that because they have the critical race theory and all the reasons in the world not to teach us about our history, because they don't want to lose the power that they have over us as long as we don't know our history. We should have no more taxation for black people because we paid our dues and we didn't receive reparations. So why are we paying taxes? Black people should not have to pay taxes. Indians don't pay taxes. We're in the same boat. Why are we paying taxes? Because we have no rights here in America. Now, again, these are the Black Panther Party top 10. Guaranteed expedited prosecution of police when they have been accused of police brutality and their evidence supports it. There should not be a under investigation order from the police chief every damn time. I think Memphis just set the precedence, 20 days, and I think that they did that because they were all black officers. And this is the first time out of the thousands of black men and women and children killed by the police that they have arrested, fired, and arrested, indicted, and now awaiting trial for all these 5 officers in 20 days. That's the blueprint, according to Ben Crump. Prisoners, we have, since Bill Clinton and Johnson, Andrew Johnson started the worst shit for black people in America. He first, you've seen the conspiracy theory about Kennedy being assassinated and then Johnson being sworn in, and then him doing all the things he can do to make sure black people don't get anywhere. Guess who was president when Martin Luther King was assassinated? Guess who was president when Malcolm X was assassinated? Guess who was the head of the FBI? J. Edgar Hoover. Johnson was president doing all this. Johnson is credited for demising the progress of black people. Now, if you look back, you can see how far black people went during the 60s and 70s. They were on a move all up until Martin Luther King got assassinated. When he died, the movement died too. So Johnson knew how to stop the movement. We'll cover the rest of those Black Panther Party top 10 lists on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. I would like to say thank you for joining me on the